Welcome back to this sunny day of action at the Sixes The Fly here at Lilleshall. This afternoon you've got myself, Georgie, and alongside me we've got Jane, and we're going to be commentating on the first semi-final. We've got Rise versus Forge in the first women's semi-final of the afternoon. Well, Jane, it's a little bit different to last time. We were roasting last time, and now I'm a bit sweltering underneath some raincoats.
Yeah, it's very different, but you know, it's nice to see that I spoke to a few of the players and they said they much prefer this weather to what we had a couple of weeks ago when it was unseasonally really hot for us here in England. So I think they're really enjoying the cooler weather.
Yeah, and lacrosse in the rain is not something we're that used to, is it?
Not really. I mean, this is fairly typical for us and we're quite used to this. It's probably quite mild as far as temperature is concerned, so it's quite pleasant.
Yeah, we can take it. So, yeah, coming up this afternoon, we've got Forge versus Rise, which could be quite a nice matchup. We've got, about to take the draw, we've got Liv Wimpney, and she is matching up with Claire Farham. So, it would be, as we said last time, we've only got the draw every quarter, as opposed to after every goal. So, be fascinating to see if we can take advantage of those ones.
Yeah, and all to play for. You know, semi-final place, the winner takes all.
Right, and here goes Claire Farham. She always looks so comfortable with the ball. Pass it off to Eliza Watson, who sets up the pitch. She's just being man-marked there by Liv Wimpney. We've got Julie Wise up behind the goal. Oh, that's a lovely goal there. So, yeah, one up for Forge already, for Rise already there, and it's a quick clear out. I think the quick clear is something that's very important, as we learnt last time.
Yes, yeah, in fact, Forge women really took advantage of that quick clear out last time we saw them play, and I think the oppositions are getting used to that now and therefore covering it and making sure that they can't just do the high ball up the pitch for a one-on-one.
That was Liv Higson there hitting the post. We've got to remember they're running down the shot clock here. So we've only got 10 seconds left on a shot.
And of course, in this game, when you shoot and you miss, then instead of nearest person to the ball, it's turnover to the defensive team, who just release it now through goalkeeper Lucy Grant.
Also known as Gramps, which I think is a fantastic nickname.
Yes, I was speaking to her and she said that she was in the Junior England programmes when you were, Georgie, so I found out a little bit about your playing career as well when I was speaking to Lucy Grant this morning.
As long as it's only my playing career you're hearing about.
I won't divulge. So Forge, come forward.
Oh, that was a lovely low shot there.
Alex Drew didn't play on that first day. Because she had to isolate at home, so it's good that she's back because she is one of our top strikers, top goal scorers in England.
There's another shot there from Rise. Yeah, Alex Drew, we used to play against her at uni, and she was a few years below me, so she was at Oxford. And she was one of those you just knew when she was coming towards you, you were like, really, I really have to concentrate on this one.
Yeah, she played under-19 World Cup 2015 in Edinburgh, and so it's nice to see that she's coming through strongly. You know, it's about now that we see those under-19 players from a previous World Championship start to come through, and she is coming through strongly.
Yeah, because she was very young playing in that one, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. She was one of the younger members, but very, very definitely worthy of a place.
Yeah, and so Rise are just using behind the goal here, which is just, it's just something I love in lacrosse, that you can go behind the goal. It just gives that extra dynamic, and it's paid off. So a lovely shot there, nice finish from Ella Malik.
And Emily Chandler in goal there. You know, she was one of the best players in the first day that we played, so she'll be wanting to keep that ball out.
Oh, that's a fantastic save there from Gramps. There's nothing grandparenty about that. Just directing traffic a bit. She's just being challenged. I always think it's good to challenge a goalkeeper.
And definitely is, because there's a time limit on how long the ball can stay in your defensive area, so she needed to get that ball moving, which she did.
to get so angry when they would just tiptoe into your circle when they're marking you. I'd be like, sorry, excuse me, this is my house, get out. It's a lovely shot. Great finish there, Eliza Watson.
Oh. Having to restart there. The umpires just made sure that they brought the ball back.
It doesn't seem quite as frantic as the first day we saw it. All the teams have sort of clocked on to what's going on a bit more. Last time it's like in netball sometimes when people got 3 seconds, they think they've only got 1 second. They do everything so quickly. They're taking their time because 30 seconds to take a shot is long enough.
Yes, it sure is. And, you know, that was a great goal there.
Another great save from Lucy Grant there. She's just slowing her team down a bit there, you know, telling them to calm down.
Yeah, Rise have taken a real lead here on Forge. You know, they've gone 5 goals up in the first 4 minutes or so. And I think there's a little bit of need to settle down from Forge. They need to sort of just build it from here and make sure that they get the game back into their court. And there we have a timeout.
Yeah, and you've got Katie Hudson there coaching Rise, one of the England greats, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think
I'm a bit biased because she was my coach at school.
Most people would know her as Katie Bennett when she was played 4 World Cups. And yes, she's just starting on her coaching journey, really, and doing a great job with this Rise team.
Yeah, she coached me while I was at school, and we were a bit fangirly. But when you're coached by someone who is at the top of their game like that, you can't help it when you're 16, 17.
Yeah, sadly for Katie, she had an injury in her last World Cup and couldn't play because of an ankle injury. So it was a sad end to a very illustrious career for Katie, but it's great to see her new career as a coach starting now. Liv Wimpenny takes the shot, but Lucy Grant is up for it and saves that shot.
There's Phoebe Smith heading off with the ball there. I haven't come across Phoebe that much, but she's Wales 2017 World Cup player, England under-19s, Cardiff Uni. So it's quite a nice CV she's got there.
Yeah, and it's good because she did a lot of her development work with England, but you know has been playing for Wales now, and obviously we love to see Wales and Scotland and England all strong because it makes the game much better in the UK, in Great Britain. So it's great when the strength is coming through in all 3 home nations.
And in the Olympics, obviously. You know, where we're going to see lacrosse one day.
We certainly hope so. We certainly hope so. But that's Liv Wimpenny receiving a yellow card. So she's walking slowly off the pitch. Don't think she's very happy about that decision.
No, I'm not sure she will be. She's getting cards like it's her birthday a bit, really, isn't she?
Yes. Yes, she certainly seems to be drawing the attention of the officials, that's for sure.
That's a lovely finish there. Just quick take, small cradle, and back of the net there for... Who was that?
Sophie Tamlin.
Sophie Tamlin. Who, interestingly enough, actually took a step back from the England squads, which is, you know, you always need to take time for yourself. And as much as we love the sport, it is good to take time out. And, you know, if you can't concentrate on that much training, take time for yourself. And that's what we love to see, you know, taking care of yourself first.
Yeah, and quite a lot of these girls are very highly academic as well. And Sophie went to Cambridge, and, you know, the demands of Oxford, Cambridge, and some of the universities in England are very demanding. So I think it was all, I need to concentrate on my academics at this place, because at the end of the day, it's an amateur sport. We don't get paid to play this game. In fact, the girls have to pay to play. So she just decided she needed to come back fresh after a little moment out.
Well, it seems to be paying off, doesn't it?
It sure does. She's a real athlete, you know, and it's good to see her playing in this Sixers tournament. And you know, we should always remember to say thank you to World Lacrosse for their support of this tournament.
Yeah, they've been fantastic. And then looking ahead, obviously, to the World Games, that's what we're focused on at the moment with this Sixes tournament. It's going to be amazing, I think.
It'll be really exciting and really good. So that's the end of the first quarter, and it's 8-3 to the Rise.
I think they could have, you know, have a bit of Blue or Rise as their theme tune. I won't sing it for anyone because no one needs to hear that on their Saturday afternoon. But it's interesting because I actually spoke to, I can't help but call her Miss Bennett, but she told me that I wasn't allowed to because they made her feel old. Anyway, I was talking to her last time. She's saying they weren't particularly an attacking side, but this was just after their first game on the first day. But that's not how it looks today. It seems that they've sort of got their act together a bit there and strung a few goals together.
Yeah, I think they've settled down, and I think they're getting more used to this format, the fact that, you know, there's only 6 of us on a pitch rather than the normal 10, and we're starting to develop some sort of pattern of play, and with that then they're obviously creating the spaces. I think their goalkeeper has held out the Forge quite well. Lucy Grant has made 2 or 3 good saves, and the goalkeeper is so influential in this tournament.
Oh, stop it, Jane. Goalkeepers are always influential.
Yeah, so they tell me. I was always led to believe that goalkeepers were temperamental, half temper and half mental, Georgie.
Oh, well, yeah. Half temper, half mental, and always grumpy.
But, you know, I think that's made a difference, that the goalkeeper is playing a strong game and saving 1 or 2 good shots from people like Liv Wimpenny, you know, who's scored lots of goals, even from Alex Drew, because we know that she has the ability to stick the ball in the back of the net. And I think that they'll get stronger now, the Forge, because they will regroup. Connor Dockery, their head coach, will have spoken.
And here we go again for the second quarter. And we're going back to a draw. Are we both opting for a push draw again here? And is that a bit of rain we've got?
No, I think the sun's trying to come out.
I don't believe it.
I can see a few shadows.
No, you need the glasses checked.
I'm always half full.
Oh, God, there's a contested draw there. A nice pick up there from Eliza Watson. Interestingly, which I just think, Eliza Watson is an amazing story. Always been a fantastic player, same age as me, you know, Wickham Abbey, Downhouse rivalry there. But she did have a terrible accident with her horse, and it stood on her finger. And so she is 1 finger down, but you wouldn't know it, would you?
No, and Liv Wimpenny just puts that in the back of the net, so that's 1 back for the Forge. But going back to Eliza Watson, yeah, it was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And she's come back. You wouldn't even notice that she has a disability on her hand now.
It's absolutely fantastic. She is a tip-top horse rider at the same time, and that's just something I've never quite managed, horse riding. I was watching the eventing this morning, and astonishing.
And their Forge tried that long ball up the pitch, just missed out to a Liv Wimpenny because it was marked by Julia Wise, but intercepted there.
We've got Jocelyn Robinson there, coming in with that lovely interception, as Julie Wise tried to find her attacking teammates there. Just a few subs going on and off.
Yeah, and Josh Robinson was very influential in their previous game today. So they'll be looking to her to get back up to that standard again.
Just the gentle pitter-patter of rain as we play. But this is lacrosse. We play in all weathers. It's like Quidditch.
Emily Chandler managing to save that one and clear it, and Liv Wimpenny on the ball. She seems to be being marked quite tightly by the opposition. I think they see her as one of the main threats of the opposition, and she's not getting much space at the moment.
And quite rightly so. You know, she's one of those names that you just know on the lacrosse circuit. She was always one of the northerners. You didn't see that much down south, and then when she appeared, you'd be like, oh dear, here's one of the Hoxton girls. Is it Hoxton? Oxton. Hoxton is a place in London, isn't it? I think I went to a bar there recently, that's why it's in my head.
See, I'm North Country, so I know how to say Oxton.
Oxton. Aye. We have couples in Oxton.
And interestingly, Ford have come back in this quarter and they've scored 2 goals without any reply. So if they can score another, that will start to put the pressure on Rise and make this a much tighter affair. Long way to go yet.
Yeah, well, it's only 8-5, and we know how quickly things can change. Obviously, on the first day, we had that amazing golden goal scenario.
We did.
And Rise were unlucky to lose out at the very end of that. I did hear calls of VAR at times.
Going to miss. And was that one allowed or was it shot clock?
Not sure if it was...
No goal given.
Oh, it's unlucky.
Just after the shot clock.
It was a lovely looking goal. Nice quick stick there. The quick stick is always much more of an art than you think when you first start playing, because you watch it and so often you just see people almost hitting it tennis smash style, but it is a cushioning, pushing.
Yeah, it's almost like a volley in tennis, isn't it? But
yes,
it's not
it's less
quite
of a
the same
punch,
technique.
and you've got to take it. Oh,
correct. It's almost a collect and send rather than a bash.
Oh, it's so satisfying, though, isn't it?
It looks very effective and very, you know, it's just one of those goals that lifts the team because it's been a good feed in and it's then finished off by another player.
So we're on another timeout here. How long are these timeouts, Jane?
30 seconds?
30 seconds.
I know they're not very long and they have to turn around quite quickly. And then you have to regroup. The minute you've had that timeout, you've got to regroup and switch on very quickly because, as we can see, goals can be scored very quickly in this game. Yeah. That's Anna Saunter trying to get involved in the...
Yes, and I'm going to sound like a right idiot here because I really struggle with...
Charlie Bergqvist.
It was tried to be a bit too clever with that pass there. You know, she just sort of tried to slyly pass it off to her teammate, and the Forge were wise to it. Like sometimes you see people trying to be a bit too clever. It's like footballers. They try and do something a little bit too much. Oh, that's a lovely save. I think that might have come off the head of Lucy Grant there. I heard a bit of helmet noise.
Yeah, and that was the quick footwork of Alex Drew, and you can see she's starting to want to get involved closer in towards the goal, but she just throws that one away slightly.
I think there might be a few referees around wishing they were wearing boots rather than trainers. We could see some sliding if they get the wheels on.
Push there by Liv Winpenny. She's living life on the edge a little bit. But the ball's gone off. So that's the Forge ball. Still with that 3-goal deficit.
So you can hear Conor Dockery there shouting, build it. So he doesn't just, whereas we saw on the first day, it was a lot, remember that first game, it was a lot of, Forge went for the long feed from the goalkeeper, fast break, goal. Whereas this time he's shouting, build it. So he wants them to get into that perimeter and feed the ball around within that 30-second period, which is completely opposite end of the spectrum, if you ask me.
So there's a little bit of debate here who committed that high foul, and in the end Sophie Tamblin has been sent off for that drive through by Liv Winpenny.
Ooh. Oh, I felt that. Oh, I felt that, Lucy Grant, off the knee. Doesn't look bothered, does she?
No, she's not at all worried. No. She saved the ball. That's what she was there for. Good quick move upfield.
Oh, that's a lovely save. Oh, these goalkeepers, they are a superb breed of human, aren't they?
They're very influential, that's for sure, in the Sixers game, because the ball goes up one end and down the other quite quickly, and that's Alex Drew just putting that one in the back. It's 8-6 now, pulling it back.
Interesting, this.
Remember, it was 8-3 at the start of this quarter.
The interesting thing with Lucy Grant as well, obviously a left-handed goalkeeper, and it's one of those things that you are so used to going, okay, so the goalkeeper, you know, put it bottom left, put it whatever, and then you've got to think, oh no, she is left-handed, and so I've got to put it bottom right. And sometimes as an attacker, it's one of those things, it's quite hard to retune your brain into that.
Yeah, and in fact, in the tennis-side game, I know that Phil Collier, the head coach of England women, often wants to pick a right-handed goalkeeper and a left-handed goalkeeper, so that when he switches them, he knows that it's going to be more difficult for the opposition.
Oh, I like that. A bit Rafael Nadal style, you know, teach him to play left-handed.
Yes.
Definitely not dampening the spirits of these players. This gentle smattering of rain, we'll call it. We just got another pick being attempted there in the middle, not been used, and then shot taken there by Captain Claire Farham, but got off the back. So back to Forge's goalkeeper, Emily Chandler, who was fantastic on the first day.
Yes, she was, and Claire Farham just went to go for the low to high shot, but just went almost midway to high and therefore missed the top of the goal. She probably just needs to drop that stick down a little bit before she starts that one, if she's going genuinely low to high.
You can hear the time being shouted, 10 seconds, 5 seconds for the shot to come off. Ooh, just in time, but nice save there. It's one of those you just sort of didn't really have the shot, but she just had to take it. Oh, nearly taken out the referee there, but Claire Farham's got it under control, takes it one-handed nicely in the air. Always a satisfying one as well, that, you know, you practice those and you feel like such an idiot throwing it up to yourself and catching it, holding your stick with one hand, but that's the kind of moment you see that practice really does pay off.
Yeah. And they've got 8 seconds. Can they score the final seconds of this quarter? And they can. So that's gone from 8-3 now to 8-7.
And that was a lovely high shot there from Ellie Jones. Nice finish. They'll go into the second half with some great momentum there, the Forge women. So it's 8-7 to the Rise. Don't think they've had the best quarter there, that one.
No, in fact, that was 4-0 that quarter to...
so not a good quarter at all?
To the Forge. So Forge will be happy with that quarter. They will have been very unhappy, I would have thought, with the first quarter where they went 5 goals behind. So they're still behind. So they've still got a lot to play for. But they pulled 4 goals back that quarter. So really good.
Yeah, and as we know, things can change very quickly. If we just see a few replays here. Here was that well-contested draw that went on, and then lovely little pick-up there. It's just a shame she's called back there, Eliza Watson. This was some of the Forge work around the goal. God, it looks like a really sunny day when you see these replays. Yeah, so I would imagine... I can't help but call her Miss Bennett now. You know, you've corrected me once. Coach Hudson there will just be thinking, you know, team, you've got to scrap that one. We're into the next half. You know, it's almost a clean slate, really. We're only 1 goal ahead. So, you know, you've got to forget that quarter. Everyone has a bit of an off moment. Gone to Sainsbury's. They're back. And should just be telling them, you know, you to buckle down for this one and keep the Forge out this time, and you've got to put those shots away. We had a few missed shots from there, nice saves. Yeah,
I think, you know, it's not that I disagree with you when you say they've got to forget that quarter. I think they've got to learn from that quarter, because if they learn from it, then they shouldn't let the same things happen. Sometimes with some players you can say forget it, and they like, oh, I'll dismiss it, but they've done some things wrong, so they need to remediate that. They need to make sure that they don't allow that in the next quarter, because what we mustn't do is have a third quarter like we've just had the second. So let's look forward. And the final replay, and a great shot there to finish off just before the end of the half.
Yeah, and we are somewhat sodden under here, but it's all okay. We love lacrosse in the rain. We've done it a few times before, so we can't complain too much. It still looks wonderful at Lilleshall. Doesn't matter what kind of weather we're in. We've got, in the distance, I can see archery going on as well. You know, there's a lot going on here. I've seen gymnasts today who are about as tall as my knees. I've seen people in karate outfits. It's all going on. It's an amazing place. And we're quite lucky they've let us stay. I stayed last night. I slept like a baby. So can't complain about that either. So it's a pretty nice setting for us, really.
It's a great place, Lillishall. It's one of our national training centres, and a lot of the national squads would come here to train. And certainly our national academy, our girls' academy, train here on a regular basis, certainly bi-monthly, if not monthly. So we've got those coming up here at the end of August, at the end of this month. And the quality of the fields, the quality of the pitches are really first rate, which leads to nice, fast, athletic, skillful lacrosse, and that's all we want to see, and I'm sure that's what anybody watching would want to see as well, the athleticism, the speed. I think, Georgie, you said earlier this week that it's the fastest game on 2 feet, and I believe it is. You know, it's you just have to keep your wits about you, because if you miss something at one end, they're up the other end before you know where you are. So we're very pleased to deliver this fly competition to you in partnership with World Lacrosse, as part of the Sixers programme that World Lacrosse are supporting as we move forward.
And having watched just a little bit of Olympics myself this week, this is really something I could see in there. It's sort of along the lines of that 3-on-3 basketball kind of urban sport they've had going on. You know, something like lacrosse, like Sixers lacrosse, you could get that in there, and a lot of people could get very involved.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we're trying to appeal to a different, another audience as well as our current lacrosse audience. You know, this is lacrosse. This is just a very different discipline that we can all get behind and support. And who wouldn't want to support a fast-moving game like this?
Right, and here we go with another draw. Both gone for the push again there. Oh, much better. See, there's that one-handed take from Eliza Watson. A bit of pressure on there from Josh Robinson.
Yeah, Eliza sort of ran into the back of her, didn't she?
Yeah.
She wasn't aware she was there, but fortunately she recovered it, and so Rise moved forward with the ball.
Yeah, she almost rugby tackled herself, really, didn't she? That's a lovely finish there from Claire Farham. Which you can see.
That was a real captain's goal by Claire Farham to score for the first time since the first quarter.
Oh, so that's a lovely double team there on Liv Wimpney. There was nothing she could do. She really came in towards the goal. She always looks attacking, but she had the goal on sight there, and it's just they kept their V in that double team there, and they just kept her out. There's nothing she could do.
And I think that's the expertise and experience of Katie Hudson, the coach, recognising that Liv Wimpney is probably the main player for the Forge, so they're trying to stop her from being the playmaker.
There was a lovely cut there from Freya, but didn't quite pay off.
And Phoebe Smith finishing that one off to give her another goal for the Rise. So it's now 10-7.
Yeah, Forge just building that goal there. Oh, that was a very powerful shot in there, but, you know, we know about my love for goalkeepers. Lucy Grant, she was definitely up to it, equal to it, and perhaps better than it, because it's not gone in. Working the ball around here, Rise. We'll always keep an eye on that clock, though.
Here we go with the long ball from Emily Chandler.
Oh, that's firstly fantastic track back by two of the Rise players there, and then a fantastic save from Lucy Grant. So, you know, all good work really on the defensive side by Rise. Just a slip there from Liv Wimpney, not something we would have seen in the 500 million degrees we were in last time.
Yeah, and what we're seeing here is a lot of long-range shots that are being easily tracked by the two very good goalkeepers. I think to score against these goalkeepers, you've got to make more of an effort than just a long-range shot, because that's not going to beat them.
Spaces, not faces, as we were always taught as youngsters. Right, so we've gone for another time out here as the sun slowly peeps out behind the clouds. Maybe we're on to summer again. Who knows? We've had everything in one day here, Jane.
It's definitely sunshine now. Definitely sunshine.
Okay. God, you really are a northerner, aren't you?
Yep.
Right, so we're teams coming back out here after that timeout. So it's currently 10-7 to the Rise. And Forge come back on. There's Alex Drew with the ball. Passes it up to Liv Wimpney, who's just slowing things down a bit there. 30 seconds is longer than you think it is. Oh, and that was just lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, great teamwork there from Alex Drew, who threw the ball to the cutting Liv Wimpney, who can then just put the ball in the back of the net.
And you could sort of feel that one was coming before it happened.
Well, those two will have played together quite a bit with the in training sessions. Sophie Tamblin with the ball, looking to see if she can roll around the crease. Oh, and I think that came off the post, but it didn't go in the back of the net. So as far as Forge are concerned, that was a result for them.
I'd take that as a save for our goalkeeper. Post is mine, my save.
Liv Wimpney trying that bounce shot, but again from long range, and Lucy Gramps was well up to that.
And it's interesting, the bounce shot, because obviously the ground is softer today than it would have been last time. So last time it would have been bouncing up almost to Gramps' face and over her head. She's not the tallest of goalkeepers, but today in this kind of mud, you don't quite know what it's going to do, whether it's going to skid or whether it's going to bounce. So that is, I think the bounce shot is one of the hardest to face, because as a goalkeeper, you can't be sure whether to step out all the way to that bounce or whether to stay back and go for it, because it could hit anything and bounce at a funky angle. You don't really know. So it's a wise kind of shot. She just wasn't quite there with her finish. And another one there, saved by Lucy Grant, who's just having a day, really, isn't she?
Yes, she is. She's certainly well worth her place in the team, and really sort of making this competition in favour of Rise at the moment.
And they're at a 2-goal advantage at the moment. Rise, it's 10-8 with just over 3 minutes remaining. But as we know, anything can happen in a short space of time. That's a fantastic finish there, though, from Eliza Watson, who sprints off back up at the pitch, already ready to defend. That's how it needs to be done. You make the goal, but it's coming straight back from the goalkeeper, and she's already back in a defensive end.
Yeah, it really is a game for the hard workers, the ones who are willing to put in the hard yards, the ones who are willing to sprint for a percentage of the game. And Eliza Watson is one of those. And a good shot there by Liv Wimpney.
That's that bounce shot I was talking about earlier. Yeah, and it's interesting because it is just such a demonstration of physical fitness, this. I've seen a lot of the girls on social media. They've been in the gym, they're doing their weights, getting their sprints in, all in preparation for the fly, because you can't hide anywhere in this game. You need to be fit. There's a lot of running. It'd be interesting to put pedometers on them and see how many miles they're doing, because I'm guarantee it's quite a few.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because we do have some stats, and I'll just find them as far as how far people have run, and I'll share that with you and the listeners as well.
Oh, lovely. We can get that out on the social media at some point as well. If you are all following the Fly UK across Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, please let us know, send in any questions. And yeah, we can get some stats out there. There's a lovely finish again from Alex Drew, who sets off back up the pitch as she's going to sub off there. I think that's a deserved rest. There's a nice clear out there from Lucy Grant and Claire Farham, but couldn't take it cleanly, and it was picked up by Forge number 30, Alice Ripper. Oh, what a surname, you know. If she takes a shot, you've got to use that with a ripper. You can't miss that.
Yeah, she's one of our up-and-coming younger players, still at Exeter University.
Ooh, as a Bristol girl, I'm not sure I can be a fan of hers then. She's pushing her off the pedestal now.
She's from Hertfordshire, I think, so she's
okay.
She's not from that neck of the woods.
Still, bleed green, I'm not about that.
And some of the facts that we found from the first day was the top speed that people were running was 7.77 meters per second, and Emma Oakley ran 3.35 kilometers in a game, and did 534 meters of sprinting in that time. So we have quite a lot of useful data coming out, because some of the teams are wearing GPS and we're tracking how far they're running, how fast they're running, and for what percentage of the game. So we'll be collating that at the end of this tournament, and then utilising that for our development, our future development of what does it take to be a Sixers player.
And there's nowhere to hide then, is there? You can't be a lazy player in this. You know, you can't be that weak link that just lets your teammates run around and do a bit. You know, sometimes there's that person who actually hasn't done that much in the game, and they sort of hide and just goal hang the whole time. But you can't just be a goal hanger. You've got to be an attacker, a midfielder and a defender. That's a lovely interception there. Oh, it's so satisfying.
I think there's still place for one or two maybe not so speedy ones, as long as they've got the brain to go with it. You know, you've got to have quick thought, quick feet, quick hands. If you've got all three, you're going to be great at this. If you've got 2 out of the 3, you can still play this game.
That's a lovely almost slide tackle there. Look, playing football now. Claire Barham, she's up and running. She's not been hampered by that slide. That's a great finish there. Through 2 defenders from Liv Higson, that one. Just a few subs going on there. Julie Wise, she's ready in there. She's got a lovely shot on her, Julie.
Yeah, we seem to have an abundance of attacking midfielders who can just turn on the heat. But that brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter, and this is a one-game competition at the moment, a one-goal game. That's one goal game. Yes, a 1-goal game. Exactly, Jane. It's going to be an exciting final quarter. I'm not sure either of the teams would quite like it to be so close, because you'd rather be a million goals ahead, wouldn't you? But for us as spectators, and with this perfect view, we've got almost at the halfway line, we don't mind. So it's all to play for in the final quarter here. We'll just have a look at a few more of those goals. That was a lovely take in there from Liv Wimperney. We seem to say that quite a lot, you know, nice take, nice little placement. It doesn't always need to be about the power, these shots. As she shows us there, placement is just as important. Absolutely, and you can see that we do mention that name a lot, because she does make a difference to that team. She is their playmaker, but you know, Rise came back strongly, and here's a lovely turn.
That's a lovely finish. Nothing a goalkeeper could have really done about that one. It wasn't even that far from her stick, but it was, when it's placed that well, you know, you just got to give it to them. It's one of those moments as a goalkeeper, you just give them a little applause, you know. Sometimes they need it.
Yeah, and the angles of the shots make a difference here, because I think the goalkeepers are used to that right-handed shot that's coming from their left to their right, which is onto their stick side a lot of the time if they're right-handed, and that's making a difference for the goalkeepers as well. And if the attacker can switch hands or shoot left-handed, then that will make a difference.
I love how the goalkeepers come into the game. It's like I was watching the Olympic hockey the other day, and you've got Maddie Hinch, who is she's just phenomenal. And actually, our lacrosse goalkeepers are right up there too. Like, she can win, goalkeepers can win games.
Absolutely, they can. And also, you know, a goalkeeper can lose you a game as well, you know, and these girls are not doing that. They're both playing very well for their teams today. So here we go, Claire Farham and Liv Wimperney yet again. And Liv Wimperney takes that one.
Cleanly taken. Ooh, that's a nice bit of defending there from Eliza Watson. She always wore number 7 as far as I know, so she's probably very happy in her number 7 shirt.
Oh, great interception there.
She's
Claire Farham, yet again.
Mighty fine player, isn't she?
She's looking
Can
for
she go all the
score.
way? Oh, that's a lovely save. Lovely save. She was unlucky with that one because she'd done all the hard work. It was just that final finish, but I mean, it was just a great save. It probably wasn't anything she could have done about that one.
Yeah, I think there are times when, you know, if you have that breakaway, you've got to have a bit more vision, that you don't have to always take the shot yourself just because you've won the breakaway, won the ball in defence. So maybe she could have had a different, but it's very different and very easy to say that standing here without that pressure on us.
Great bit of defending there from Julie Wise. Forced the drop there from Ford, and she sets off up the pitch. That coffee I know she had at exactly 2 o'clock seems to be paying off.
And there, Julie Wise did look for the pass in front of goal, you know, and in many ways they would have been hoping that that was finished off with a goal. But Emily Chandler releases the ball, clears the ball to Alex Drew.
She's got great pitch awareness, Alex Drew. She's always looking up, always looking for that person. You know, sometimes you get players and they're sort of channel-minded when they get the ball. That's a fantastic finish there.
Great team goal and a great shot by Jocelyn Robinson, but the whistle's still going, and I think they probably set off too quickly and the umpire wants a reset.
Yeah, like I was saying with Alex Drew, she's got real pitch awareness, always looking up and scanning.
And we're tied at 12-all with 6 minutes to go. What do you reckon, Georgie?
I'm going to go Rise, because they started off so well, have had that sort of dip, and I think they're going to want to fight back and be like, you know what, we're not just a team that can survive the first 6 minutes, we can do the whole thing. But it really is, it's one of those ones you've got, I haven't got any money to bet anyway, but if I were a betting woman and I bet a box of Quality Street, I would say Rise.
Yeah, I think, you know, for me, both teams are fairly even. They've both got a few people who can change the game in an instant. So it's just a question of who can keep their calm the longest and discipline and not throw the ball away. And as you'll see at the moment, we're starting to throw the ball away a little bit because the pressure's building. 12-all, 5 minutes, 20 to go.
That was interesting because Liv Wimpney looked in control and Ella Malik just came in from that check behind. She's just hanging her stick out a bit to cause that turnover, but it's back in Forge possession. Alex Drew holding things. Oh, it's not Alex Drew, I apologise.
Hannah Saunter.
Hannah Saunter. Yeah. It's too many long blonde ponytails in this game.
Good cut there by Alex Drew, but not used, so she has to reset.
Oh, she's found her. Oh, I think that's come off a Rise defender there, that shot. That's a fantastic save again by Brandt. She's having a stormer. And she's being man-marked there by Ellie Jones, but still manages to get the ball out.
But Rise are coming forward. Can Forge get organised in defence to prevent the easy inside shot?
Claire Farr, I'm just telling everyone to calm down, you know, just using that hand. That is a lovely finish. I barely saw. I almost heard the swish of her stick as she let that one go.
And interestingly there, where you look like she was calming it down, etc., there was still 15 seconds left on the shot clock when she took that shot. So you might have thought she was running out of time, but she still had 15 seconds left. And I think there are times when people think 30 seconds is a long time, and sadly there's a high hit there from Claire Farham on Alex Drew. So Claire Farham has to go and take a seat on the penalty chair. Here we go, ready to restart. Alice Ritter on the ball.
So we've got just less than 4 minutes remaining. And it's almost even Stevens. We've got 13-12 to Rise. Oh, this is getting to what one might call squeaky bum time.
Still lots of time yet, though, with 30-second shot clock. I guess theoretically we've got a minimum of 7 shots.
Quick maths.
Oh, always good at maths. Got grade 1 at maths.
There's a great use of the width of the pitch there from Rise. She's got Freya Savage, goggled, bespectacled, begoggled. Is that a word? Begoggled?
I think so. And good save there from Emily Chandler. And remember that Forge are a man up at the moment. So here they go. Look, with the loose ball, and it's finished by Anna Saunter, which ties us up 13-all with 3 minutes to go.
She didn't panic there, because sometimes when an attacker is just them and the goalkeeper, they're like, oh, you can see their eyes light up and they're almost celebrating before they've taken the goal. But she took her time, she did a lovely fake and saw the back of the net, and that's what you need. She's gone off for a little respite. I think she's deserved it.
And Claire Farham comes back off the penalty chair and unfortunately misses that one because she's so excited to try and get towards goal. And going back to the shot that Anna Saunter said, you know, these goalkeepers are too good to just take a shot that doesn't have any fake in it. And she showed there that she had to fake it before she put the ball in the back of the net.
That's a nice finish.
Ooh.
Taking a little sit down there after that one. Ball straight out quickly from Lucy Grant there, finds Claire Farham, but they can't get the fast break in the same way Forge have been managing recently. Looking at a pick here from Claire Farham with Julie Wise, but Forge are equal to it.
And I think this is the first time that Forge have been ahead of Rise in the whole game. So with 2 minutes to go, they're 1 goal up. Emily Chandler has the ball, clears it out to Anna Saunter.
It's getting nervy.
Good save.
It's a great save. That sort of slowed that momentum. You felt if they got that one, it might be it.
Here we go, one-on-one, one-on-one.
Oh, that's a lovely save. That was one of those, am I going to go here, am I going to go there? And then she's just gone in the middle of the two and almost straight into her stick with that one.
Ellie Jones trying to keep discipline here. Come back in and puts it down low and takes them 2 goals in the lead.
Just watching the Rise coaching, they don't look particularly excited by that one. But, you know, only 2 goals, and we've still got 1:10 remaining and Rise in possession. But you do feel they need to get a little wriggle on here. And shots like that aren't going to do it, you know. You can't just turn and shoot without thinking. It's all about that placement still, even if you have only got a short time. Oh, she's gone off. Gone off him. Limping, I'm not sure. Hope she's okay. Going off there. Got Phoebe Smith. I think hopefully it'll just be a bit cramp.
And Coach Dockery calls timeout. I think that's just to slow it down. 51 seconds to go. His team are 2 goals in the lead, and he'll just ask them to delay as much as possible, take up the full 30 seconds before they take the shot, because if they do that, then they should be in the clear.
That's interesting, because obviously in the 10-player game, you would try and play possession as long as you can. And it's a lot more difficult than you think. But even 30 seconds, you know, you've really got to be like, okay, right, we're holding it for this long, but we don't want to hold it too long. So you've got to keep your wits about you.
Yeah, in fact, I think I can see that it's 21 seconds on the shot clock. So they've only got 21 seconds before they're going to have to try and make that shot count. If they make that shot count, then obviously they're in very much the best position. Liv Wimpenny on the ball, being pressed by Charlotte Williams. To Alex Drew. Oh, and she's gone back into her own half.
And you could hear Coach shouting, don't cross the halfway, but she'd already gone.
And I think that showed Alex's lack of experience, because she didn't play in that first day.
Much like a netballer when they can't go in someone else's third. They've sort of thought about it. Oh, they just need to be... They're not finding these finishes, Rise, and that could be very costly, that one.
Time's off, so we're waiting for time to restart. A long ball from Emily Chandler.
Back into the final 5, and Forge seem to have held off that last surge. Oh no, I can't read. Final 15.
And the goal is out of the goal, and I don't think the player even noticed that there, because the goal was empty. They could have put this way beyond, and it looks like they're going to hang on for a famous victory here.
Yeah, it has been quite a fight back, hasn't it?
It sure has. And you can see the delight as the girls realise that they've done what they needed to do.
And they've gone straight to their goalkeeper, which is always nice. Oh, they are an exultant bunch. So they are into
the final.
So our first women's side in the first ever final of the women's fly is Forge.
Yeah, and they came back from 8-3 down. That was the first quarter. So they were 5 goals down at the end of the first quarter.
It's an interesting one, because it was a very different way to how they played on the first weekend, which was all about fast breaks, but this was much more tactical, a lot more thinking involved, and I think it's just because everyone's had that bit more experience, so they can't just go for the, we'll go for the long clear, we know what to do every time on this one.